Show. What are you doing with a great pumpkin?
I'm waiting for the great pumpkin. BJ, it's almost Halloween. He's got to be here soon. We have like a world-class pumpkin carver here.
Okay, so what exactly is the great pumpkin?
You know, it's like Halloween's version of Santa Claus. He shows up, he appears in front of you, he throws candy upon you, and then he introduces himself to you. Hey, I'm the great pumpkin. Happy Halloween.
Okay. I think you summed it up with he's like Santa Claus, which means he's fictional. He doesn't exist.
No, BJ, haven't you seen the Peanuts special?
Yes, it's fiction.
No, just because it's a cartoon, it doesn't mean that all of it's fake.
His dog flies a World War I ace. I think
Don't
it's
mess
fiction.
with the Red Baron. Alright? We're gonna get you in the spirit of this, but I'll be damned if we don't, because it's the Great Pumpkin, Jess and BJ, with Jess and BJ, and we're gonna celebrate it.
Well, let's get the show going. So you can do whatever and I can
hurry.
just go.
I'm just waiting for the Great Pumpkin.
You know, I missed the key inning of the game last night.
Oh, how'd
just
that
throwing
go?
that out there. Well,
did you
while we
baseball?
recorded the show, the Cardinals took their big lead in the 5th inning, and you know they went on to win. Missed the best part of the game, but got to see the end, so that's something.
Go Cardinals?
Yeah, I like Cardinals.
Alright. Well, let's settle up and do the over-under then so that we can get to finding that pumpkin.
All right, we had 5 former WPT Foxwoods winners in the field.
And
Bookie
two of-
set the line at 2.5 to survive the day.
2 of them went out very early. Reigning champ Jeff Forrest only came in with 17,000, hit the rail. Eric Seidel came in relatively short and he hit the rail. And I have to apologize, Cornell Simpan. I misspoke and said he had a bunch of chips at the end of the day yesterday. He didn't. He only had 35,000,
But it's like Jess foresaw that he would have chips.
a great pumpkin-esque vision of chips being thrown upon him. And
Like
he,
candy at a stranger.
He made it through the day and helped me to win the over.
But it was close. He was short on the money bubble.
And he will be the shortest stack coming back tomorrow. He ended the day with less than he started with, actually. He ended with 25,000 after starting with 35,000. So keep it up, Cornell. You maybe got...
Okay, let's move this along.
All right.
New line, day ended with 27 players in the month.
Did.
The line is 9. How many players will be left at the end of play tomorrow? Now this is multi-level. We're supposed to play 5 levels, but
if we get to 6...
if we get close, if we get to 10, well, if we get to 6, we stop because of the final table. Supposed to play tomorrow. Sometimes if we hit 10 or 9 or 11, they may decide to keep playing. There's weird factors in play. 9. More or less? Or exactly?
Since I am ahead, I go first, right?
Whatever. I don't ever remember why we go first, but
I'm
you
going to
tend to go
take the
first.
over. Just, there are more spots potentially on that side. And a lot of times 10 seems to be the number where people stop, not 9.
There are more spots, like you have till infinity. That's such a dumb reason. Okay, I think they're gonna bust faster than you think. And if they're close, if they hit 10, the players may push for, come on, let's keep playing, get a day off tomorrow, which is
9.
Halloween.
Oh, you're saying 10 to 6. Okay,
I think they may get to 6 tomorrow, and that would be an off day for us. Not a guarantee, and I'm not getting my hopes up, but I'm kind of getting my hopes up.
In a waiting for the Great Pumpkin getting your hopes up sort of way?
No, that's like just getting your unrealistic expectations set too high. If you'd like, I could throw candy at you.
You have candy?
No.
Okay, well, then let's just keep talking. If you don't have candy, what's the point? Once again, Andy Frankenberger is the player to beat. Chip leader, 2nd day in a row, and not just chip leader. We finally have someone out in front of the pack.
So far this tournament, nobody's really distanced themselves at the top. We've had chip leaders, but they've been close to everybody else. Andy finally separated himself from the field.
He's got 675, 680, somewhere in there.
Nearly 7.
Yeah.
And only one person is even remotely close to him.
And that is the Club WPT Player of the Day, Jack Schonbacher, who came in 5th in this event in Season 7. He was at the same final table as Jonathan Little when Jonathan Little won his Foxwoods title, and they spent a good chunk of the last half of the day together at the same table playing against each other. Jonathan ended fairly well, he ended above average, but Jack really chipped up on bubble play, and so did Andy. Both of them were hovering in that 450 range. Jack dipped and then jumped up to end at 483.
Yeah. And nobody else is above the high 300.
Yeah, Christian Harder's third in chips with 360-ish. So those two are the ones we're going to be keeping an eye on the most when play begins tomorrow.
Now, we had a kind of feature table today. kind of a star-studded lineup. At the start of play, we had
It was a fun feature table.
3, 4, and 5 seats. We had Jason Mercier, Kathy Liebert, and Christian Harder. We had former WPT winner Lee Markle at the table. Jeff Forrest showed up briefly before he busted out. Later, Matt Stout joined the fun.
And what were they all doing though, BJ? Because that's what made it really fun.
Kathy Liebert kind of proposed this idea, and everybody quickly jumped on board. They set a rule for their table: whoever won a pot at any point, even if you just raise the big blind, you have to show 1 card. Whoever wins the pot shows 1 card. And in a couple of the big hands, that might have played, because if you fold to a big bet, you get to see, you get information. You're guaranteed information. Didn't see it affect anything. Thought it might have affected a big hand that busted Jason Mercier. The other guy was tanking, and thought if he folds, he'd see his hand. He ended up calling with 2 pair. Mercier had aces, over pair. Didn't improve, and that's how we lost Mercier.
I did see one hand where Lee Markle shoved in on it with a shorter stack, and when Christian folded, he got the, oh, I don't want to show one of my cards faces, and had to flash like a 6 or something. That was also the table where the bubble hand was.
Yes.
Kind of interesting bubble hand, because in the final minutes of play, Alistair Melville, Matt Stout, and one other player were in a 3-way pot. That player folded on the flop.
Rossi.
Yes, Andy Rossi, thank you. There was betting on the flop. They both checked the turn, and on the river, Matt bet $25,000, and Alistair had $30,500. Alistair, I guess, wasn't sure if he really had the best hand and opted to call. He didn't have the best hand. Matt had top 2 pair. Alistair was left with 2 big blinds and was all in the big blind a few hands later. Christian Harder made the nuts straight. With 3 players just kind of checking it down to get money bubble over with, and that was the end of our day. But it's not really the end of our day, because
The end of my day.
we're still waiting for the pumpkin. And in honor of the pumpkin, question of the day: what's your favorite thing about the Great Pumpkin? I'll go first.
Please
Mine
do.
is that he's just filled with so much giving, gooey, orange wonderfulness.
Aren't all pumpkins gooey and orange on the inside?
But they don't throw candy at you.
Thankfully.
I really don't think you see how cool it is to have someone literally throwing candy at you.
My favorite thing is that this doesn't exist, because if a pumpkin threw candy at me, that would just be annoying. That's not magical.
You're not going to eat the candy?
No, you're talking about an impossibility. There is no great pumpkin.
I guess you're right. There is no great pumpkin.
No.
What am I going to do tonight?
Hey BJ, it's the Great Pumpkin. Happy Halloween!
I'm still not buying it.